Now, I believe you told me it's time for us to learn stuff, right?
Yeah, let's learn about gambling.
All right.
Yes. Our friend Joe Ostrowski, gambling expert, he knows more about gambling than anybody else in the state, really. As far as the legislature goes, gambling expert from 670 The Score, joins us now on the line. Joe, how you doing, pal?
Hey, guys. I do know a little bit about gambling. It doesn't mean I'm a winning gambler, though.
No, you just got to know how to do it.
But, listening to you, I've heard you talk at length on this topic, and it seems to me you've forgotten more than the average guy is ever going to pick up on this one. So we're looking to you to guide us through this.
So,
all right, no problem.
Real quick, just what happened at the end of last week pertaining to the mobile gambling executive order that our governor put forward?
Yeah, this went a little bit under the radar. Late on Thursday of last week, Governor Pritzker issued an executive order. Part of that executive order was we have these casinos, and part of this bill was, when we have sports betting, you have to show up in person to sign up the casino. And that was a big issue because we have all these casinos opening up. We don't know when they're going to open up because of coronavirus. Now, coincidentally, they are reopening today in Indiana, so I'm sure Illinois will keep a close eye to see how that works over the border there. But he suspended in-person registration. So what that means is once these sports books are ready to launch mobile betting, all you have to do is download it on your phone. Like maybe we remember Daily Fantasy, FanDuel, and DraftKings. You just download the app on your phone. That's how it's going to work. Now, that will end once the pandemic is over.
Okay, because the originally set forth the gaming expansion bill signed into law by the governor last year required bettors to register in person at casinos, racetracks, sports facilities before you could place wagers on mobile apps that are managed by those same spots. So due to the pandemic, we'll skip that step, but once we get the all clear, we're past phase 4, phase 5, then we go back to in person?
Yeah, it's not even going to be a consideration till late in the month, so we're into phase 4. So I'm not sure how long before they open up the casinos for people to come in. But, signing this executive order, it makes me think that it's going to be quite some time before they even open up the casinos in the state because as of today, mobile betting has not launched. So why do you sign this executive order if by the end of the month you're going to be opening up the casinos anyway?
What date was pre-coronavirus? What date were Illinois casinos looking at opening up just their in-house sporting books?
Yeah, I was actually there at Rivers Casino the date of the launch, and it was in March, a few weeks before March Madness got going. They were open for almost a whole week. Rivers Casino in Des Plaines and Argosy Casino in Alton, Illinois. And so then the world changed and everything was shut down later that week. And casino, not a place that you wanted to be when coronavirus was going on. And we didn't know much at the time, and there's still a few things that we don't know about it.
So if this goes through, and let's say I went to wager a little bit on a Busalinga match on some Saturday morning, I'm able to just one of the seven casinos, right, got approved for this.
7 casinos got licenses last week from the gaming board last week, but some are further along than others. There are other aspects of this. You have to get something called a management services provider, basically a company that's going to run the book. There are only 2 of those licenses that are out. So the first 2 books in the state that will have mobile betting are the 2 that opened up in March. It will be Rivers Casino and Argosy Casino. Now, they're basically run by the same sports book, so you don't need to download both of them. But yes, the idea is in a matter of months, all 7 of those casinos can be online. And down the road, guys, there are 3 racetracks that have also applied for sports betting licenses: Arlington Park, Hawthorne, and Fairmount Park in Collinsville, Illinois. So we expect all 3 of those spots to eventually have sports books.
So there's got to be a mad rush right now from the casinos to be one of the first to get that up, because with no in-person registration, nothing's stopping me up here in northern Illinois from signing up in the casino in Alton, Illinois. Correct? Or am I supposed to go to my most regionally geographic casino?
Yeah, no, yeah. As long as any of them are in state, that's why it's so good for the sports bettor, so good for the consumer. Now you don't have to drive around to all these different sports books if you want what they call line shop. If you want the better price, where okay, I'm going to make my bet at this book because this is offering me a better number, or I'm going to make this Super Bowl bet because I like this team at 20-1. But at this book on FanDuel, they're offering me 30-1, so that's how I'm going to place my bet. This is exactly why there's a lot of people that cover the industry that believe if Illinois can get all of this rolling before the football season starts, that they could have the highest handle, taking in the most money in bets of any state in the country, because sports bettors are crazy in Illinois. And Bears, Cubs, they love to bet on their teams.
Why do you think sports betting's so much bigger in the area than maybe across the country?
Yeah, there are certain states it's just like that. I think it's ingrained in the culture. States, New Jersey, it's been big. Of course, Nevada always. I'd say the same with Pennsylvania. I think if you look at some of the more rabid fan bases, they're very passionate about their teams and they're going to back their teams. And it's so big here, I don't even think that the bookies are completely going to go away. They're still going to exist in state because something bookies offer is they offer credit. And if you're comfortable with the way you do things, there's a lot of people that won't change.
So that kind of mirrors the legalization effort of another substance where some people might keep their quote-unquote bookie on hand rather than necessarily go to the state-approved book.
I've heard it's a lot cheaper doing it that way, too.
Comparing it to the marijuana, what you're alluding to
what?
there. Right.
Is that what I meant? Okay.
I mean, one of the problems that we heard that, when that was passed, this is going to eliminate the street game. Well, the street game could offer you something far, far easier or far cheaper than what you're going to get, at the store with taxes and whatnot. But you still had to go out and get it. The fact that this gambling is going to go right to your phone, right into your home, is the onus on the state to get their odds down to what the street level is greater than what the marijuana industry had to deal with?
Yeah, for sure. And it isn't just your bookie at the corner bar that we always used to talk about. There's a lot of people that bet offshore at some of your Bovadas, your bet onlines, and they also don't have to leave their homes. So there were some that were worried, okay, this is great. It's nice to have this option, but people that are fixed in their ways, are you really going to convince them to change? And I think one of the other benefits here, with all the competition, you should get competitive prices if you're into betting. But the other part is it's legal. And that may not matter to a lot of people, but the part that matters to me is if I have a dispute on a bet, or they're saying, well, you didn't get that in time, or that's a loss, or we're taking that off the board. We know you made that bet, but we're taking it off the board just because. If you're offshore, what are you going to do? You can't fight that. There's no gaming board to fight that, and you just have to take your loss and move on. But now with legalization, you at least have that on your side. And something else to watch for is with all the competition that will be going on in state, even though Rivers will be the first one to market, so they'll have a big chunk of that market. With all the competition, a lot of these different sports books will be offering some nice bonuses to try to get people to come over.
Joe, this may seem like a dumb question, but I'm the non-gambling guy between the two of us. Are other states up and running with mobile gaming apps, and this is something that they dealt with in the past, and they're just cruising right along with it, or is this something new, just breaching the surface around the country?
No, this is going to continue. So PASPA was overturned by the Supreme Court 2 years ago, and right now we have 22 states that have gone legal. And now you have this economic hardship throughout the country. It seems like a lot of the states that were close, considering it, not sure, I think they're going to push this through just so they can get the money. If we fast forward a couple of years from now, I wouldn't be shocked if we're at a number like 40 different states. There's been movement in Ohio. California would be big, so they're getting closer and closer. This is going to continue to be rapid throughout the country.
When this goes legal, can a Wisconsin resident register for an Illinois book?
if you come over to Illinois, you can do that. Now, Wisconsin doesn't seem anywhere close. They're one of the few states in the country that hasn't had any movement. It's a little different situation up there with all the riverboat casinos, so they would have to be involved. But I think if you think about all the Midwest states, they might be the only one that won't be having it anytime soon.
Then one final question before we get you out of here. We'll make you make one prognostication. The over-under on the date that I can download an app at one of these casinos and place a wager.
I'll be conservative, and I'll say the 22nd
of June.
In a week.
In a week?
Yeah.
All right.
I was hearing rumors that Rivers could happen today or sometime this week. How it's been explained to me, it's just dotting some I's, crossing some T's, and getting final approval by the administrator of the gaming board. So they're really, really close. They'll be first to market, and they'll be very happy once that happens.
So sometime between today and conservatively, you said next Monday. That's exciting. Can't wait to Can't wait to lose a bunch of money. That's going to be.
It's gonna. You've never watched before. Yeah.
I got a whole nest egg on the side. I'm waiting to blow. So, Joe, thanks a lot for joining us, man.
No problem, guys. Anytime.
Hey, when's the next time we can hear you on the air?
I'll be on tonight, 6 o'clock. I guess I've got to talk about that awful documentary that was on last night.
How bad was that, man? It was just, like I said, it felt like the whole thing was edited by somebody in jorts. It was just so Cardinal-centric.
Joe, you brought up, exactly, you brought up a good point on Twitter. Like, well, it was so boring because it was done by a Cardinals fan, but also the subject is Mark McGwire. So, of course, it's going to be boring. We probably should have known.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a little sample of the reviews right there. Joe, thanks for the time and the expertise, man. We really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.